some sample questions on oral forms. Number 1 says, choose from the list of words the one that has the same consonant sound as the one represented by the letters underlined. Number 1, caliph. The PH is pronounced f. So you have opponent, perhaps, presently, and powerful. So when you pronounce the word powerful, aside the fact that there is, of course, you might say, oh, there's the letter F in the word, but when you pronounce that word powerful, you have f sound, which rhymes with caliph. The next word, fault. 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 Remember I said when you articulate that sound and it sounds like a T, always remember that it takes the sound in words taught, theatre, weather, and fate. Okay? Taught, theatre, weather, fate. The answer is theatre. Okay? The next is sure. You have chair, chip, charlatan, and church. The answer to that question is charlatan because the word sure takes the sh sound. And then number 4, you have teeth. Teeth. In words like tank, taught, dough, and time. So many people might get confused because they have their 2 words with th. So they might assume JAMB gave 2 answers, forgetting that the labiodental isn't articulated in the word time. So you have thought there. It says, choose from the list of words the one that has the same vowel sound as the one represented by the letters on the line at the beginning. Number 1, boat. Now the sound in boat is the O sound. This is O. There. You have glow, bought, bald, and go. So if you look at it, some people might say, oh, because it has an OA, that means it's here. But that sound is pronounced O. So in this case, the word is go. The answer is D. Number 2, hurt. Hurt. Okay? It has the sound. It has the sound in hurt. So A is hot. B, girl. C, beans. D, hate. Hate has the diphthong. B, beans has the E sound. Hurt has the O sound. So the answer is girl. Then number 3, guard. Guard. That's the long R sound. You have guide, argue, chat, and read. Okay? If you look at it, guide has the diphthong I, chat has the short R sound, then read has the long E sound. So the answer is argue. Okay? Another question, another aspect JAMB will test your knowledge on are synonyms and antonyms. You cannot escape that aspect. Now, what are synonyms? Synonyms are words that are nearest in meaning to a given word, while antonyms are words that are opposite in meaning to a given word. So the instruction comes, choose from the list of words the one that is nearest in meaning. When you see nearest in meaning, know that you are told to identify the synonyms of the word. Okay? And opposite in meaning is the antonym of the word. There's something we must note. The context in which a word is used determines the meaning, which is the synonym, or the opposite, which is the antonym of that word. So the context in this case has to do with the environment of the word. So you might have a sentence, and then you might be told, the man is big. A, huge. B, enormous. C, massive. And then you're told to select an answer. So in that case, you know, you can't use massive for the human being. And you can't say enormous in that case. So you rather go for huge, okay? So have that at the back of your mind, that the context determines the meaning of a word. So when you read a sentence, remember, try to understand what's the meaning of that word in that particular sentence, and then you select the synonym. Let's look at the sample questions. It says, choose from the list of words the one that is nearest in meaning to the underlined word. Nearest in meaning, which is the synonym. Number 1, from the way my friend talks, you can see he is such a boy. A, rude. B, brilliant. C, uninteresting. D, polite. The underlined word there is boy. And this is even easier. It's easier for us to identify the meaning anyway, because when you look at boy, it's from the word boring. So the answer to that question is uninteresting. It cannot be rude, it cannot be brilliant or polite. Number 2, during a particular time of the day, the road shimmers in the heat. During the particular time of the day, the road shimmers in the heat. The underlined expression there is shimmers. A, darkens. B, lightens. C, shines. D, beams. Now, if you look at this option closely, you would wonder and you might get confused because lightens, everywhere is bright, so the place is properly lit up. Shines is shiny as well. Beams, it beams. Okay, there's a huge light somewhere and then it's what? Beaming from somewhere. So when you look at that, darkens is completely off. Okay, so you have lightens, everywhere is properly lit up. That can be the answer. You're looking at shimmer, something that's what? Gleams or twinkles in the dark. So the answer is what? Shines. Because other synonyms are gleam, glow, glint, or twinkle. So in that environment, okay, we're looking at what? Shines. Number 3, Joke gave Muhammad a jaunty smile. A, an inviting. B, a discouraging. C, a frightful. D, a cheerful. Look at the environment of that word again. Joke gave Muhammad a jaunty smile. A, an inviting. B, a discouraging. C, frightful. D, a cheerful. In that case, discouraging and frightful are completely off. Okay? In that case. So, if you look at inviting, in that case, okay, probably she smiled and wanted it to come. But the answer to that question is cheerful, because other synonyms as that means gleeful and delightful. So she had a cheerful smile and Muhammad was forced to what? Come around, maybe to sit next to her. Number 4, he picked up the phone expecting to hear the chairman's gruff voice. 3 billy goats gruff. You have gracious, musical, husky, and polite. Gracious is off, polite is off, musical is off. Because when you look at gruff, you're looking at something probably coarse in that case. Okay, so the answer is husky. So at that point, his voice was sounding husky. Now it says, choose from the list of words the one that is nearly opposite in meaning to the underlying word in the sentence. So you're told to identify the antonyms. What JAMB does most times for synonyms and antonyms, you have an option. For synonyms, you have an option that is the opposite of the word. And then for antonyms, you have an option that is the meaning of the word. So they do that to confuse students because they know students model up synonyms and antonyms. So when you answer a sentence, if you have time, go back to read the instruction again to be sure you've selected the best answer. Some of my neighbors have an antipathy to dogs. A, enmity towards. B, affection for. C, acronym for. D, alarm for. Remember, we are to look out for the opposite. Antipathy naturally means a strong dislike for something. That's the meaning. So if you go for enmity towards, you've chosen the synonym. Okay? So we are looking for the opposite. Someone who has an enmity towards something, the opposite will mean affection for. So the answer is B. Number 3, the dressmaker unpicked the seam of the shirt. Now what comes to mind most times when you hear unpick? Okay, she probably, the clothes probably had some things on it, maybe like a sequin, and then she unpicked it and probably left it there. You might look at that as the literal meaning. A, threaded. B, sewed up. C, picked up. D, torn, unpicked the seam of the shirt. Now, when a tailor unpicks something, she what? She loses the seam. Okay, that is what it actually means, to loosen the seam. So the actual meaning there might be to tear up. But in this case, we are looking at the antonym of that word, which is to sew up in that case. So the answer is sew up. Number 3, the testimony of the witness was vague. A, disturbing. B, clear. C, ambiguous. A, disturbing. B, true. C, ambiguous. D, clear. We are looking for the opposite. So when something is vague, it's not clear. So the opposite is clear. That's the answer. Now let's look at comprehension. What's English language without comprehension? Comprehension is to test your ability to understand and interpret a question. Okay? Most times, because there are different types, where JAMB gives questions based on types. Some people have their comprehension passages that come first. Some might have sound or oral forms coming first. So we are looking at comprehensions. Now, what are the tips to answering comprehension questions? 1, read the passage carefully at least twice. This is a general counsel, okay? But for your CBT, if that comes first, I would usually advise you focus on other questions. Then, if you have time, go back to the comprehension questions. So you can look at other forms, maybe the oral aspect of English, your lexicon structure, maybe the recommended text. Try answering those questions first before coming to the comprehension question, because you're required to read through, and it requires your concentration before answering the questions. So, number 2, read the question to have an understanding of the questions you'll be asked. So what you do is you scan through. You look at the possible questions. Then scan through the passage. You read the passage and then answer the question asked and use the time allotted effectively. So these are some tips. We are going to look at a passage carefully. Okay? It says, curiosity is curiosity is as clear and definite as any of our urges. We wonder what is in a sealed telegram or in a letter which someone else is absorbed, or what is being added in the telephone, or what is being added in the telephone booth or in low conversation. Sorry, that's a typo. The inquisitiveness is vastly stimulated by jealousy, suspicion, or any hint that we ourselves are directly or indirectly involved in. But there appear to be a fair amount of personal interest in other people's affairs, even when they do not concern us, except as a mystery to be unraveled or a tale to be told. The reports of a divorce suit will have news value for many weeks. They constitute a story like a novel, a play, or moving picture. This is not an example of pure curiosity. However, since we readily identify ourselves with others, their joy and despair then become our whole concern. This is a passage from JAMB 2016. Now, let's look at the questions carefully. Number 1 says, which of the statements is true according to the passage? A. Suspicion often stimulates inquisitiveness. B. Every human conduct often gives rise to curiosity. C. Our environment always inhabits curiosity. D. Curiosity is effective where there is no room for it. Now let's look at this question again. You've been asked which is true according to the passage. A. Suspicion often stimulates inquisitiveness. B. Every human conduct often gives rise to curiosity. C. Our environment always inhabits curiosity. D. Curiosity is effective where there is no room for it. Now let's look at elimination method. Okay, we'll go on a quick break and then we'll be right